2024. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for sticking with me throughout this journey, I guess you would say. It's been a long time coming. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of time spent, and it's time to reveal to you my new Whiskey Cigar Room YouTube studio. For 2024, this is where all of my videos are going to be shot, unless I decide to go outside, but you know, most of my stuff will be here. So I guess we kind of need to do a little backstory on when this came about, how it came about, why it came about, and so forth. The long story short is that it was out of necessity. Back in September, or actually throughout 2023, my mother-in-law had a series of pretty bad falls, and it was determined that she needed assistance. So the decision was made to move her to an assisted living. And because of that, she wasn't able to take a lot of her possessions with her. So those possessions, or not all but some, came to our house, which then meant we had to rearrange and things had to change in our house. And where I was filming was the dining room of our house. That's where my shelves were, my whiskey wall, and I would film with that as a backdrop. But because of the furniture being put there, I no longer was able to use that as a backdrop or my studio. The plan was always for a spare bedroom upstairs, where we are, to become eventually my man cave, or whiskey, cigar, YouTube studio kind of deal. But that was supposed to take place over time, and not quite as soon as it actually did happen. So things got pushed forward really quick. And I didn't want that quick movement to affect the look or design or feel of the studio to be cheap or anything like that. I wanted it to still have a good sense of character and value and quality, so that you, the viewer, had something cool to look at besides this stupid mug. I know, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. During that process, I was filming with my phone a little bit, just to kind of give you guys an update, an idea on how things were progressing and moving forward, the struggles I was having, the changes to ideas, and the overall look and feel. But it still wasn't that quality that I wanted to put out. And eventually I decided that maybe I should hold back until the studio's done, so I can get camera and lighting and everything done, so that it really had that look and feel that I was going for, so that that quality was brought back to you guys. Then another thing happened, all kind of at the same time. Then my mother-in-law passed away, and that was the ultimate decision to halt production, not do anything until I could really focus on creating videos and doing what I enjoy doing. Because at that time, nothing was really quite fun at all. So, but I'm sure you can understand. After a period of time, I was able to get more and more work done, and was able to move forward, get everything done that I felt like I needed to, so that I could actually start moving things in and creating a space that was usable. Maybe not quite finished, But we'll go into the things that I still need to do, still haven't done yet, future plans, even future plans, just so that it's even more of a finished space. It's going to take some time yet, but at least it's something that I can use and adapt and ever evolve this room into the studio that you, my audience, my subscribers, friends, deserve to see. So with that, let's kind of go into a few of the things that I did with this room. The first was the challenge of getting down all of the old wood paneling and this drop ceiling that was falling apart, just the massive cleanup, the old carpet that was just a disaster and ugly. Once I got all that stripped down, then there was the challenge of what to do with the broken plaster. Now, this house is well over 100 years old, so it uses lath and plaster instead of drywall. And I didn't really want to take down the plaster and lath and re-drywall because it's upstairs. It's a pain to get things up and down the stairs. So I figured it was easier just to patch it. Then I came up with the idea of an old speakeasy that was just kind of maybe more of a like a pop-up speakeasy, if I could use a modern term with an old term and make those work. I don't know if that works or not, but it was almost like they just slapped a coat of paint on something. The plaster's fallen off, revealing brick. And then I realized I had some old Z-brick down in the basement that my wife and I had bought years ago. And that's kind of where that sprung from. The walls where it was just lath, I was able to put that Z-brick in there. Or if you don't know what Z-brick is, it's just fake little pieces of plaster that look like red brick. And it just so happened that it worked out pretty good. The end result wasn't exactly what I was going for, but it was well worth the work and the fight to try and get this to look how I kind of had envisioned it. And it gives it a little bit of depth and feel that you don't normally get in an area like this. Next, it came time to figure out what else I was going to do with the space to really add some depth, dimension, some wood tones back into it. And searching around the house, I had some old pallets and an old tree house that never actually got built. And some of it was rotting, but it was still usable. I was able to get rid of the rotten parts and sand these down, stain them different ways to give me the areas that you see on these walls that really kind of brings some richness back into the room versus the dark gray color of the walls. And the color is, if I'm remembering right, is glazed concrete. It's a Valspar. So if you're looking to do something in the same color, that's what I used. Look for it. It's pretty dark, but you kind of want a dark color if you're going to be smoking or anything around because you don't want it to yellow. This is going to be far easier to take care of in the long run. And ironically enough, this dark color is a lot easier to control the light than a light color. It just is, for some reason. At least it is for me. I don't know if that's true elsewhere, but it seems to work pretty well for me. Some other additions were when I pulled up the carpet, the wood floor that was underneath was not what I would call refinishable floor. It had several coats of paint on it already. Some pieces were broken out. It just wasn't worth spending the money to strip and refinish the way a wood floor really deserved to be. So I decided instead to paint it a black. Now, I know that's going to disturb a lot of people. I'm sorry about that. But time, money, and just overall, it was not worth it. This was the best option in my opinion, and even my wife agreed, who loves hardwood floors. I'm sure most of you would agree. I'll just leave it at that. But then I still needed to do something about it because a hardwood floor is going to reflect sound. And we decided on a nice big area rug, and happened to find one that was under $100. And it's actually an indoor-outdoor carpet or rug. So it's very durable. It's going to hold up well to my office chair rolling around on it, me walking on it, setting up cameras, lights, this table, which I'll get into in a little bit. It's going to hold up a lot better because it is that indoor-outdoor carpet. Plus, it's going to help soak up some of that sound. Speaking of sound, I think some of you, if you follow me on Instagram, saw the different processes and things that I was doing. And one of those being what I did to the ceiling. I used foam acoustic tiles on the ceiling. And this was just to kind of help keep some of the echo and noise down and give as the best sound quality that I could probably get out of a studio. Now we're going to find out when I finish recording this and listen to the playback how much echo there actually is, because I can still hear a little bit, but hopefully that will be nullified in the long run. So we'll see how well that tile works. Since it was a very soft foam, I didn't want to nail it or anything like that. I just simply used liquid nails. Put it in a caulk gun, and just put it on the back of it, stuck them to the ceiling. There were a couple of them that didn't stick real well at first, but making sure that you hit every part of that with the back of your hand, just kind of pushing it up, really helped them to stick. And I think it turned out, one, with a really cool look. And again, let's hope when I play this back that the sound quality is as good as I'm hoping for. Some of the other elements I used in the room were things that were given to me or that my wife picked up for free. Over in one corner, I have a guitar hanging on the wall. No, I cannot play. I have zero musical talent. And yes, I tried. Yes, it was during COVID. And I just couldn't get rid of the guitar because it was pretty cool. It was given to me by our daughter. She had been given this guitar and kind of learned how to play it. But when I kind of wanted to learn, she decided that she would let me have it. And damned if I didn't try. I tried to learn how to play, and I just do not have that kind of coordination. And music ability is beyond me. So, sorry, Jackie. I tried, but at least now it's hanging on the wall of the studio. And then next to that, on the floor is, I think they're just some metal wall hangers that were probably bought at Hobby Lobby, but were given to us. And I thought it was really cool and really fitting for a YouTube studio. They look like metal movie reels. And then a case and an actual reel of film. I don't know what's on the film because I don't have a player. I'm kind of afraid to look and see what's on it, but it might be interesting. And then above that is a picture frame that says movie time. So that's kind of representative of the YouTube studio and filming and things that I enjoy doing, and things that I enjoy doing in this room. So that's another element of the room. Eventually, I'll hopefully get some lights to kind of backlight the guitar and the other things that are sitting on the floor, just to kind of give that an element to pop out a little bit better than a dark corner of the room. Across from that, I was also given a picture of cigars. And this gives a description of what each and every cigar shape and size is. Again, how fitting for a cigar room. So it had to go on the wall. I absolutely love it. And interestingly enough, if you notice, right behind me is that cigar picture that's mounted on a wall that's like a 45-degree angle. So what I did was drilled a few holes, took some 45-degree L hooks, and mounted them on the top and the bottom that hold that picture frame up against that wall with no fear of falling. It wasn't exactly how I wanted to do it. I wanted things a little more hidden, but it still works and they're not going to go anywhere. Yeah, I know. I lit it with a Zippo. Don't really care. The computer desk that I'm using has our laptop and a second monitor so that I can edit videos a lot better that way. This desk was actually a sewing machine desk that was built by somebody. My wife had gotten it years ago and she no longer wanted it. So it worked out perfect that was going to be my new desk. I did have to modify a few things for everything to work the way I wanted it and give it the look I want. I still might strip it and stain it, or maybe even paint it a little bit, but that will be down the road. We'll see how things work out with it. Kind of like the color of it. It kind of works in the room, but I might find a way to kind of jazz it up a little bit. We'll see. Then I also wanted a desk that I could kind of move around to different parts of the studio to film from, depending on what it is that I'm working on or demoing or showing to you, the audience, that was portable but still had kind of a uniqueness to it and that rustic kind of speakeasy pirate kind of vibe. Again, some of those palette or those boards that I found that are on the wall, I was able to put those together as a table. I used iron pipe and then casters that are mounted on the bottom so I can wheel it around the room without having to drag it or scratch up the floor or anything like that. And it was real simple, fairly inexpensive to build. I think it was maybe $80, $90 for the whole table because I already had the wood. It was basically just the iron pipe I had to buy. So it really wasn't that expensive. And it's kind of unique. It's this table right here. You'll be seeing more of this in the future, I'm sure, because it's going to be the demo table that I use. Maybe we'll even do some top-down shots if I can work out how that's gonna work. We'll see. But yeah. Next, another thing that I was given that's an addition to this room that works perfect is I was given what is actually a wine chiller. Now, why would I have a wine chiller when I'm a whiskey drinker? Well, some people use a wine chiller and convert it into a humidor. And that's gonna be my plan. I still have to make sure that everything works with it because it was used. They weren't sure if it worked when it was given to me, but ultimately that's the plan. And I'll show you that process in a future episode. So stick with me and let's see if we can get that to work. The other is I brought the humidor that my wife bought me for Christmas a few years ago, And now it sits on top of that other humidor or wine chiller, future humid, you know what I'm getting at. Anyway, there are a few other things that I've done, and I haven't got to this yet. That will be last. The other things are elements that have been, a lot of things have been given to me for some reason. I don't know why people actually like me. Surprising, I know. But I've got several ashtrays up here. One was made by a buddy of mine from high school. And yes, all those years ago, there were actually schools and high schools back then. So leave me alone about it, all right? But he made me one, and it sits on my desk. That's going to be used. Another one is this one that was made by a company here or a business here in Southwest Iowa. In a future episode, I'm going to be doing a video on some of the products that they've made for me and for others. And I'll get both of those, my buddies and this company's links down in the descriptions so that you can check them out. And if you want something, inquire and see what they can do for you. They made me this. Thought that was pretty cool. And can you hear that? Yeah, there's actually whiskey in it. So it gets used. And last but definitely not least, my whiskey wall. I was able to use the shelves that I originally had used downstairs in our dining room and just expand on it. The old computer desk that I made, and I have a video of that on my channel that you can check out how I made that. I ended up deconstructing that and using parts of that table to create more shelves. And because I already had this desk and my computer desk, I no longer really needed that one. So that ended up becoming more of the whiskey shelves. Now, I still need to add more LED lights to them. That will come in the near future. To attach to the wall, I again use those black iron pipe and floor mounts to attach to the wall. They sit on those and a clamp goes underneath them so that the shelves don't shift around or move. And they're extremely stable. I still have to get a couple more pipes, and I might even put in one more shelf, but we'll kind of play that by ear and see. I still have some room over here for more whiskey when or if I collect all those. It's a process. We all know it takes time, and as I get more into the journey of whiskey, I'm getting a little bit pickier as time goes by. So not a bad thing, but it can be a bad thing when cost is involved and when your wife tells you no. It's a thing. It happens. I mean, anybody who's been married more than an hour just kind of knows that. So yeah, there's that. Well, I'm sure there's probably some things that I've missed and didn't cover. If there's anything that you see around the room that you have questions about or are interested in, please comment below. Also, tell me what you think of the room. I want to see what thoughts you have on how I did and how it looks. And are you planning to do your own kind of man cave, whiskey room, cigar room? Have you done that? Let me know. I'm curious because I think it's kind of fun and it's been a great space already. I've used it a few nights since I've really finished it. Oh, the other thing is, no, I do not have any chairs yet. So that's a process again of finding the right chairs, something that would be easy to move up and downstairs. those will go in this general vicinity area kind of deal. So, well, yeah, it takes time, but at least it's something that I can use. But again, if you've done this yourself, if you have your own space, let me know, and let me know what you use it for, how you enjoy it, things like that. So with that said, there is a whole playlist that I have that shows the progress and process that I went through, the ever-changing ideas that I had with it, the side steps I had to make. I will link that playlist, and I think it's this corner here and down below in the descriptions, so that you can check out the entire playlist, including shorts, longer form, they're maybe 5, 6, 8 minutes, something like that, that you can check out and see how I did it. It might be helpful to some, and again, if you have any questions on any of the things I did, you want to know more about some of the processes that went into doing this room, just let me know, and I can kind of help walk you through what I can. I'm not a pro builder or anything, but I did this. I can kind of help, I guess. But anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you for sticking with me. 2024 hopefully will be a much better year. I plan to do a whole lot more now that I have this space. I have ideas for whiskey reviews, ideas for new EDC, in general, some really cool man shit that hopefully you'll enjoy. 2024 is going to be great. I have a whole bunch of new videos planned for it. I'm even thinking about doing a live at some point. We'll see how that works. I want to thank each and every one of you. And as always, long ashes and full glasses to each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for joining. Have a great day. See you later. I don't know about you guys, but it's kind of nice not having the wife right here. I gotta say, I'm just saying. I know she's gonna watch this and get really pissed at me for it, but I can sit up here and watch Star Wars. I got a TV on the wall now. Thanks to my son, he gave me a TV. So, yeah.